Lorenzo Casati and Andrea Principi, two legends who also found themselves at the Red Bull King of the Air podium earlier this year in Cape Town, South Africa, where Lorenzo Casati took home the win and is now a crowned Red Bull King of the Air champion. Whereas Andrea Principi is always ready to kick some ass, and we saw him perform earlier. This is definitely going to be a heat to watch. It's called a semi-final, but it might as well would have been the final. It is just how the ladder turned out, but we are in for a treat. Live chat is getting dirty. It's going down. It's happening.
Buyo. That's how you say Angeli's surname. I've just got it in my head now. Corrected very nicely.
Buyo.
Buyo. That's how you remember it. Not
Perfect.
Apparently,
Buyo.
apparently I've been murdering her surname, so you should have told me. You know?
Buyo.
Look, there's me saying thanks, Ruben, for getting my surname right. I've been doing 10 years of
Buyo.
Angeli's. Buyo. That's how you remember. Liam Whaley there looking very happy, just obviously hearing the news that he will finish in either first or second place.
Making it to another final in his life. He is stoked. It is kind of where he belongs as a champion of freestyle, a champion of big air, a champion of kite surfing for sure. Always pushing it with so much style, so much commitment to pushing the sport and pushing himself to new heights. So thank you so much, Liam, and congratulations on making it into the final.
Do you know what? Do you want an interesting stat on Liam? Do you know where he was born?
In the UK, man.
Straight into a final.
Oh, there we go. With Lorenzo Casati opening up this heat with his trick attempt. I need to see a replay of that.
Ruben, what do you think the wind speed is here?
Looking at the wind, I think Lorenzo's riding his 8 meter. It is a consistent 35 knots. Well, 32, 35. Andrea, ooh, just going for a nice carve in front of the spectators. Just didn't feel the right timing or gust for this trick attempt. So he does have time to turn around. Remember that the heats are not really ran by time, but really by trick attempts. The riders get 7 attempts, where the 3 best scores will make up their final score. You see Lorenzo Casati, he already took off for his first trick attempt. And here is Andrea Principi with his answer to that. And again, not feeling it or riding too close to the beach. He's almost running up the beach there. Maybe the judges are not giving him any more time to go for this and scoring a 0 for this.
Well, this is interesting. Unhooked TV and Toby strictly hooked on our comments right now. Maybe those guys are going to get into a big old debate. I like this contra loop here, Ruben, going to a double front roll rotation. Looked like a board spin as well in here. So let's see what he gets scored for this, Andrea Principi, the current Big Air World Champion. Lots of height in that move, Ruben. Looked very controlled. Love how he grabs out of this. He's in lots of control. So let's see what he's going to get for this.
I am curious if they do...
Goes into the Tic Tac family, the contra loop Tic Tac family. 7.03 coming in for Andrea Principi. That rhymed.
Lorenzo Casati, is he going to spin forward? Is he going to spin backwards? He is going to maybe jump to the right. Or he's going to turn around and look for some better speed. No,
Where have you been today? It's Sunday. Surely you haven't just joined us now. 5:31 p.m. We were here, or I was here at 7 a.m. in the morning. I can't even do the maths on how many hours ago that was for this long day of action on day 2 of the Lords of Tram at the GKA Big Air Kite World Cup down here in Bucharest for the 2nd time. It is the 5th time with the Lords of Tram, and it's just wonderful that you can be here to watch this action. It's big air. It's not as windy as maybe we would like, but it's not always like that, big air, Ruben. And we've seen riders start bringing out unhooked maneuverers during this event.
And blind landings to spice things up.
Look how high they can go, even when things aren't absolutely nuking. And
this was not what Lorenzo was going for. This was a very late contra loop. Could almost not call it a contra loop anymore, but just a down loop. Like he was pulling it very late, not off. Yeah, he just didn't get the board off and get the right rotation. So unfortunately, not scoring well for this trick attempt.
Big heat this one, Ruben. You know, we've got to talk about these two teammates for so long on duotone, and Lorenzo Casati deciding it was time to go to Cabrina just after the King of the Air. And there he is, just riding through. The good friends, of course, these two, but Lorenzo Casati thinking, right, it's time for me to do, a new challenge. He then wins King of the Air. Andrea Principi, though, big air world champion, winning in Tarifa. This is a huge heat.
Massive. These guys are big air kiteboarding in the heat of the moment. Look at that. Very nice mega loop board off with a back roll rotation.
Here's the replay there. You can't deny that, Ruben. This is actually the heat of the moment.
Into the back roll with a board off and that kite loop. He looped a bit late. I think the guys would love a little bit more wind, but isn't that always the case? Are we ever satisfied? Well, yesterday with the gust up till 72 knots was absolutely crazy. But glad that the wind is back here today for more epic big air action here. Lorenzo Casati from Italy doing an absolute banger of a move with 3 rotations and a board off.
He liked it.
During that kite loop.
Why do you think he liked this one, Ruben?
1,
I think the
2,
multiple rotations.
3. Oh, he did 4 rotations. So that's why I liked it.
He liked it. That's
spinning 4
hand
times.
Goes up into the air. Is there a little element to that where the judges might think, oh, blimey, he's happy with that. He can do anything, but he's happy with it. Maybe I should score him a bit more here, like.
I wonder if the judges even saw that it was 4 rotations instead of 3. So they need to have a very close eye on all the action here. Especially when the action of these riders is so close together. These are the 2 top riders in the sport right now. Andrea Principi and Lorenzo Casati here during the semi-final of the GKA Kite World Tour in Barcarès, France.
Kite change coming, I think, possibly for Andrea Principi. Where is he?
He grabbed an 8 meter, or he's on an 8 meter. Did he just change already?
I think he just changed to an 8. He's got something up with his straps here as well. They're being done on the beach right now. So he's on the beach right in front of us, Ruben, down here to the left-hand side. So this is interesting. Andrea Principi running back upwind. What a beach start. How easy did he make that? Look, out of the corner of our screens here. You didn't see that. He's just run in, changed his foot straps, and enters back into this semi-final. He looks quick flash over to see. I think the judges will give him a bit of flexibility on the time, although I'm seeing a 0 here, Ruben, for that time to change. And they really are being quite harsh on that. They want
action, and this was his time to shine, but he decided to go for a kite change instead and fix his foot strap. But now with the right setup on his 8 meter kite, I think the trick attempt goes over to Lorenzo Casati.
I reckon this is 25 knots, Ruben, if I had to have a guess here.
25, yeah.
You reckon? I don't think it's much more than that.
No.
But these riders are so good at extracting every bit of height with these kites. Now, we thought it was going to be nearer 50 today, but such is the way with the wind. We never truly know. All this sun out now, maybe this extra heat around here has messed things up a little bit. But Lorenzo Casati coming in for his next trick. It is the blue rash vest flag is up. And so, yeah, unfortunately for Andrea Principi, he had to take a 0 for that kite change here, but it might pay off dividends. But this massive double front roll, triple front roll, contra loop, might have even been more than a triple, Ruben. Contra loop, big from Lorenzo Casati, who's currently leading this. Let's take a look at this replay, Ruben. There's the first rotation, and the board comes off 2 rotations, 3 rotations, 4 rotations then for that contra loop board off with the front roll. So Andrea Principi still not to get his 3rd trick on here, but he's changed up a size, Ruben, and that is what we find interesting here. He's gone up a size. He's gone up a size, Ruben?
Yeah,
he has, yeah. I think, that's
more
like
power. I'm just trying to look at the forecast here, and it still looks windy. Yeah, let's hope it continues to deliver. Sometimes.
Whose computer's that? That guy's got WinGuru Pro.
Of course, he's a pro. But Andrea Principi ready for his trick attempt to put a 3rd score on the board. But Lorenzo Casati currently in the lead of this heat in the semifinals of the men's big air division here. Andrea Principi going for a double front spin, tic-tac contra loop. but unfortunately crashing it, so
Almost rode out of that.
not in his element.
He's
So
almost rode out of that, you know. I know it's not really a scorer, but if you watch that carefully, somehow he ends up actually riding out of this.
it's like a skipping rock. What do you think the world record for a skipping rock is? How many times did it skip? Is it 20? Is it 30? Is it 50? Or is it 70 or 100?
I don't know.
What do you
I
think?
don't
How
know.
many times can a rock skip by a single throw by a man?
I don't
A
know.
human.
This is not where I want to be focusing my attention right now, Ruben. That's
It is
a
close to
nasty.
100.
You know the answer.
Yeah, close to 100.
Okay. Thank you for that.
That's,
Very
that-
informative info. That's the sort of info I want at a semi-finals at a World Championship event here. Just
when they
confusing.
crash, they're like a skipping rock, Lewis. And you know it. You've been skipping rock.
Skimming stones, we call it
Skimming
back home.
stones.
You can't read the rock. You need a good shape, you know. Small pebble. You can't go for the big ones. It's got to be round.
Shapes, sizes, it matters. Also with kites.
88 skips. That wasn't a bad guess.
88 skips.
Pumping
Nice.
up and down on the board here now. This is really an interesting stage of this big semi-final here. And with a higher score so far, this is what I find interesting about these heats. The wind's died. You can't deny that. The wind has really dropped now. Lorenzo Casati is winning this now by a healthy margin. He doesn't want this heat abandoned right now, right? He's happy to push on here. He's still out there. He's comfortable. Unfortunately, Andrea Principi had to change kite size. He's out of his rhythm. He's got 2 crashes scored for his last 2 moves, Ruben.
That's harsh.
How are you feeling here if you're Lorenzo? You want to carry this on?
I want to give it my all, and with so many spectators on the beach and showing that you're the best. Oh, is he getting his board? No, he wasn't getting his board on there. I wonder if Andrea's gonna get himself together and perform some epic moves in the lower kind of winds we've seen today.
Here's a question for you, Ruben. Who do you think's going to win this today in the men's? How's that for a question?
That
Stick
is-
that in your pipe.
Yeah, I'll stick it in there, and I think Liam Whaley can take home the win, or Lorenzo.
I think Liam is a great shout here because in these conditions, you know what he was doing in his heat? In these conditions, he was going unhooked. Started to send some big kung fu passes, the moves that you invented a long time ago, Ruben. And I think this will be right up his street. He's not bothered if the wind does this in his heats. And these two don't really have that. And it's often, you don't often say that with these two, to see that in their repertoire. We know that some of these guys on the water right now can land to blind. And they must be starting to think, surely, maybe I need to really squeeze every bit of the points out of this heat.
Well, there's no wind. The riders are kind of complaining whilst we're experiencing a lull in the wind. And you know what a lull in Dutch means?
No, I don't. Please inform me.
Yeah, it's a low in the wind, man.
But that's in English. A lull means a drop in. It's a drop in the wind, right? You got a gust, a strength for the.
Lull.
Does it mean something else?
Laughing out loud, man.
It's
Lull.
not spelt like that. It's Lull.
Yeah, double L. Boy, but here he's finding the gust. Andrea Principi entering back with another one of his lofty jumps. I cannot wait to see the replay of that one.
Double L. Who's double L?
Double Lewis. Double loop.
Let's take a look at this replay, Ruben, because he really did find that what we saw earlier with him. He got right up there. Let's remind you, he got over 200 meters in his distance here with that big contrib. He started to find that extra lift again, is Andrea Principi, where it's just ridiculous. When you see that angle, Ruben, you think, what are his lines attached to? It's outrageous. He blew it. That was the big head slam there where you just know you've done something special on the water. That was a big moment in this heat, and it's put Andrea Principi in first place, Ruben.
And just when you think there's a lull in the wind, it kicks her right back in and puts the action right in front of her eyes. And absolutely incredible. Andrea Principi flying absolutely massive with 15 meters height and 120 meters distance with 11.7 seconds in the air, performing his 3 rotations, board off contra loop into a 1-footer just before the landing.
Getting a 7.6.
Highest scoring
that.
trick so far. So
Yeah, so, who's laughing out loud now?
I am for sure, because this is fun to watch, and the riders are going from being frustrated to really focused to just nailing the biggest and baddest tricks. So let's see Lorenzo Casati entering with a double back roll board spin kite loop.
Here's a replay on that one, Ruben. And you could just see the height, the uplift wasn't there on the way up. We often see with these guys and girls, it's all about that uplift, that elevator up into the sky. And he didn't access those lifting winds. Some of the riders telling me down there when I was down there recently, Ruben, this isn't lifty wind today. You know, what does that mean when someone says it's not lifty wind?
It's not lifty wind, yeah. Sometimes the wind is really like lofty, lifty, more dense, more kind of blowing upwards. And sometimes the wind is just a little bit different and not giving you the power and lift that you want to feel. So yeah, there's definitely different conditions every day. What is this? Oh, pulling a bit late there on that kite loop. But yeah, not a really nice angle, not super high. So let's see what the judges will score that. He's taking off, not going super high, going in a double back roll, nice and stylish. Stretched his legs out, but yeah, the kite angle wasn't too critical. And after this heat, we will go into the mini final. So fighting for third and fourth place of the women's division, big air here at the GKA World Tour, will be Nathalie Lambrecht against Francesca Mani.
We're getting to the end of the day nearly, Ruben, here on a Sunday. 5:43 p.m. Lots of action still left today, though, as we get to the finals. Lots more power on the water, and this is a biggie from Lorenzo Casati. Was that a rewind on the end there? He just can't take it, Ruben. He just can't take it. Andrea Principi now looks like he's taking control of this heat, Ruben Lenton.
But yeah, he has one more trick attempt left. Oh, that was a good move, but just falling from the sky a little bit faster than he anticipated. And
it's close though, Ruben. Look, it's about 0.29 at the moment. This heat is separate for a place in for a chance in the main final for first and second. Who's going to get it here? Coming in left foot forwards, then wanting to access these wins is Andrea Principi. What's he going to look to improve here, Ruben? He's got a 6.17 on the board right now. I don't see it in his score here. Where is that?
Which one?
It says 6.17. That's what he's looking to upgrade.
Wow! Speaking of upgrades, he upgraded himself to the sky.
And a rewind.
No board off though, no rotation. Yeah, a rewind. Oh, he's stoked on that jump.
Why?
It must have felt great. Don't think the score's going to be great. So here's the replay.
Think so? Why not?
Andrea Principi going for he shot into the sky like that. Whoop! A massive mega loop laid back roll. And
it's
then
a rewind at the end.
Yeah, a rewind. He's getting flung into his forward rotation.
We're seeing things with his setup today, Ruben, that I don't think I've seen so much of before. Not just the first time. He's getting a secondary lift so far at the end of that move. And we're just not seeing that from some of the other riders as going for, I think, his last move there is Lorenzo Casati that may well regret